Moepork here with another Wildstar raid guide. Welcome to Experiment X-89. This first boss encounter in the genetic archives is a fun first test for your raid members' individual skills. Keep at it and you'll become Obi-Wan's next top Skywalker.
The others call him a failure, but I disagree.
The fight begins with a big charge towards X-89. After he finishes breaking the bridge behind you, we'll start things off with a resounding shout. This will do high damage to your entire raid and do a large knockback. You can counteract the severity of the knockback by sprinting towards the boss before and after the attack. His next ability, Shattering Shockwave, will track the current tank in a line and do massive damage on impact. A hex platform will be destroyed at the end of the telegraph. It's recommended that tanks and or healers use defensive cooldowns to help mitigate any burst damage from this attack. Tanks will need to aim shockwaves throughout the fight in favorable locations depending on the situation. Additionally, it's important to note that the shockwave also has a fairly large circle telegraph around the boss. DPS need to be wary of their positioning and not be too close, or it will likely one-shot them. X-89 will periodically cast Corruption Globule, also dubbed the Small Bomb. This will put a small telegraph that will track its target. A small bomb will drop on top of the player after 5 seconds. This attack will break a platform. The targeted player should move out of the raid immediately and drop a bomb towards the outer reaches of the map. It's important not to create islands in the room in order to maximize the amount of space you have to work with. If you're feeling like a boss, you can jump off the platforms and use whatever method desired to get back in order to save more platforms. Occasionally, X-89 will cast Strain Bomb, also dubbed Big Bomb. This player has 10 seconds to leap off the platform. The player will be propelled upwards safely by the bomb after jumping off. Every 4th Strain Bomb will be targeted on the current tank. The off tank must taunt the boss while the main tank handles the big bomb. X-89 will also cast Repugnant Spew. This attack will target a random player and begin a large cone attack that will rotate 120 degrees either clockwise or counterclockwise. This will deal lethal damage if you ate too many ticks, very easy to avoid at closer range. It's important to note that the boss will opt to use Mighty Leap on the tank if he gets too far away from the boss. He will leap at the tank and do high damage and a knockdown. Be sure not to make X-89 leap onto the raid because he can still cast any of abilities immediately after, while your team is knocked down. Throughout the encounter, X-89 will periodically pulse for raid-wide damage, doing roughly 6 or 7k damage on average. You will want to bring 2 tanks, 3 healers, and a balanced DPS makeup. It's a good idea for your tank to drag the boss towards the outer portion of the room. Not too far, but somewhere where a player doesn't have to run too far to get a small bomb out of the raid. It also helps because you can move X-89 more gradually in order to aim shockwaves optimally. The main factors for the DPS that will determine the success rate of the encounter depends on not getting killed by shockwave and small bomb placement. These 2 things will be the main causes of death during progression. X-89 has the potential to cast knockbacks and spews while a player is handling a small bomb. It's important that players save defensive or movement abilities for these situations. To lower the probability that a spew will be targeted towards a player with a small bomb, make sure the bulk of the raid is positioned towards the inside of the ring, while a small bomb will be dropped in the outer portion, behind where the boss is usually facing. Nonetheless, if a spew is unfavorable, use defensive cooldowns or movement abilities and run through the spew. You will take less ticks than running with it, which will most likely kill you. It's a good idea for your healers to communicate if they have a small bomb or a big bomb. That way someone can take over tank healing or raid healing while they have to deal with their bomb. Also, if you haven't figured it out by now, the platforms are your soft and rage mechanic. Because geometry.